Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, everyone. We are here today interviewing the contributors of the Younger Self Letters. And I have to say, I just got a giant box of these. I love the top, don't you? The USA Today bestseller. If you haven't picked up your copy of the Younger Self Letters, it is available on Amazon, and we invite you to get yours. So, Michelle, first of all, I want to welcome you. Tell us where you're joining from.
Thank you. I'm from Annapolis, Maryland, down by the Chesapeake Bay.
Awesome. We got the East Coast in the house.
Yes.
Holding down the West Coast. Raimonda, Jessica, and Melissa, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good to see you all.
So I want to start with you, Jessica. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're up to.
Awesome. Well, hello. Thank you for having me. I am Jessica Verrill. I am a visibility coach and the founder of House of Indigo Publishing. I guide spiritual and wellness practitioners to becoming experts within their industries. And I do this through utilizing my skills as a channel, an intuitive flower essence practitioner, a business coach, and publisher, and really allow them to step up and shine in who they are. I'm a strong believer in the energetics and mindset and how it comes together with our physical reality. And I feel like that is so much of my personal mission and my purpose in this lifetime is bridging like all of these incredible frequencies and energies and bringing them into our present physical state.
I love that, Jessica. You know I'm a fan. Melissa, tell us about yourself and what you're up to.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. So I'm Melissa Keenan. I'm CEO and owner at Coaching with Melissa Keenan, and I help women and couples to create the intimacy of their dreams. I'm also the leader of the intimacy movement. So I have a free online community of women who just refuse to settle for less in every aspect of their life, in their business, in their marriage. They want it all. They want those deeper levels of intimacy, abundance, impact, income. And I'm now a USA Today bestseller. Thank you all and this beautiful opportunity. And I help. I really, really believe in a world where women are empowered through intimacy. It's fascinating to me because I typically work with high-level women, high-profile women who are, making a big difference in the world through their businesses. And it's fascinating to see how many of us have so much empowerment in our, professional life, but really still kind of subscribe to some of those old paradigms when it comes to our relationships. So I really help women bust out of that.
Yes, I love that. And I got to spend the week with Melissa and her husband in Sedona and their 4 gorgeous children. And it was so cool to hang out. And we had our own intimacy. I mean, we were cooking meals together, hanging out, hiking the whole enchilada. Raimonda, tell us a little bit about you and what you're up to in the world.
Yes, amazing. I love that, Melissa. I just absolutely love your story. And it's so exciting that all of us getting to meet all around the world, and we're all coming from around the world. So originally when I started writing the book, I was based in London. I have been based in London for 20 years. Originally, I am from Lithuania. And when I first arrived to the UK, I couldn't actually speak English. So I was completely, a young 13-year-old girl with my suitcase coming to the UK to see my parents. And a few months later telling that I'm not actually going back to my country. So we settled in the UK for the last 20 years. And my mom retired here just before Christmas. When I started writing the book, I was in a 6 years relationship and engagement, and through the process of a book, I shared a story of my previous relationship where I've lost my voice and I've lost my identity and the whole journey of going through it. And very recently, I'm sure we'll talk more about it, so I don't want to give it all away. but recently I have moved to Spain. I ended my 60 years relationship, and I have just moved to live in Spain full time with my mom. So, but it's so amazing to see you, and yeah, it's good to be here.
I love it. Michelle, I love what you do in the world. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about the amazing work you do?
All right. Well, I am the founder and CEO of Bestselling Author Program. And years ago, I was a paralegal, and I did that for 17 years. And I loved the law. I loved what I did until one day I woke up and I hated my life and I hated my job. And I felt that dread that so many people feel. And I guess I was young, kind of young and naive still, and didn't really understand, because I thought it was my forever job. I thought, like, that's what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And I think we do that in relationships too. This is my forever relationship. And when you're young, you don't realize, yeah, some things end. Not everything is forever. And so as fate would have it, I was given the pink slip from my job, and that was my ticket out of the legal field. And I realized my dream, like when I was a kid, I loved writing. I loved writing reports for schools and essays and doing research. And I always wanted to write books and really to just reclaim my creativity that I didn't have in the legal field. And I'm so passionate about books because they've literally changed and saved my life. I don't think I would be here without books. They've saved my life. They are powerful. And one book, one sentence can change your entire life. And that's why I am so passionate about helping authors get their message out, get their story out, express themselves, and of course, become best-selling authors so people can find you and you get the visibility you deserve for your story.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And this is why I fell in love with Michelle, and why we came together on this project. And when we were thinking about the kinds of books we wanted to produce, we knew that it was easy to create another business book. Yes, that can be done. But how many of you know that whatever can be said about business, it can only go so deep? And what it feels like is that the world is really craving and ready for us to go beyond head knowledge and information and education to right here from our hearts, to live from a deeper place. And so we thought if we could get entrepreneurs to talk about and to write a letter to their younger self, that would immediately take them deep, which it worked, right? So for those of you who are joining us, please tell us in the comments where in the world you are joining us from. And I want to hear from you ladies next. What inspired the story you told in this book? Because you all went on that journey. You were all willing to go deep. So Jessica, let's start with you. What inspired your story? What led you to sharing that particular moment of time with the world?
Yeah, so I had no idea what I was going to write about. And I really sat with it for a couple of days, and I went through this process of starting to think back on what some of the very pivotal moments of my life were, what were some of the biggest challenges, and how they had impacted me. And so I began to just write, and I walked away, and then I came back and I wrote some more. And I ended up bringing like a few different experiences that I had gone through. Some I wrote about a little bit longer, some were a little bit shorter. But for me, it was about really sharing what I had gone through and how I came through it as a way to inspire and impact somebody else who's maybe going through something similar or can relate to it in some way, you know. And I think one of the things that we come up against, especially as women, is we tend to dismiss what we've gone through and what our pain is, of like, oh, well, somebody has it worse than I do. Or, you know, there are starving kids or this or that. And I actually address that in my chapter. Like, yes, some people have it worse, but it doesn't diminish the pain and the trauma that we go through, and how we can utilize that as transformation and empower others to do the same.
So true. Once we realize the power in it, then it becomes an incredible tool. Thank you, Jessica, for the story you shared. Melissa, what about you? What inspired your story in your chapter?
Yeah, I love what you just shared, Jessica, and went through kind of a similar process. But I talked in my chapter about a time when I was 12 that was extremely terrifying, where I ended up being abandoned in the middle of the Nevada desert, and there was a couple of different reasons why this particular time was the one that I chose to write about. One was a personal reason. I mean, this experience was so traumatic in my childhood, and definitely a pivotal moment. And I have done so much inner work around this one event that happened in my life. But I was ready personally to take my healing to the next level about that. To go from there's like different stages. There's like, well, everything happens for a reason, I learned from this. And then there's like, no, really, like these are the strengths I gained from this. And then I think there's even another level, which is where kind of this intimacy piece comes in. A spiritual intimacy of like, no, really, like, why was this necessary from the universe? Like all angels and the universe and the planets conspiring towards my success, that I needed to go through this traumatic thing as a 10 or 12-year-old. And so for me, declaring all of that was so massively empowering. Even speaking about it now, I just feel like I shed layers in that, because this moment in time also is the moment that pops up over and over again as I run a business. It's fascinating because anybody who's experienced success, you experience vulnerability when you go through hard things as an adult, but you experience even more vulnerability when you go through success as an adult. And so it's like when I hit the next level of success, I go back to like alone, abandoned, and scared in the middle of the Nevada desert at 12 years old. So this is very empowering for me. And then as I thought about that, I thought, what would my soulmate clients, if there are people out there who I am meant to help, what would they want to know about my life and what makes me tick and why I do what I do and why I'm good at what I do? And it was like, it's everything that was born from this moment. So yeah, it felt so amazing to write this chapter.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you being willing to go there and really go to the beginning, the birthplace of who you have become and what you do. Raimonda, what about you? Tell us what inspired your chapter.
Wow, I was just taken aback by Melissa's story, and you can visualize yourself as a 12-year-old in that desert. So I can truly relate to that. And going through vulnerabilities and moments of when you are walking through, an alleyway that is in a shadow, and you're walking through it and you feel like, why is this happening to me right now? I know I'm here on a purpose. I feel like as if I am lost, but I know I'm here for a purpose, for a particular reason. And I know there is a light at the tunnel. And when you believe that there is a light for you at the end of the tunnel. So for me, the book has been an interesting, very natural evolvement through, I have been on this journey for the last 10 years as entrepreneur, building my business, truly championing women's empowerment and us as women owning our own power in our voice, in our presence, in our choices, in our career choices. So I have always been a little bit of a rebel for the last, ever since I can remember. So getting a job wasn't really necessarily something that I wanted to put on my CV. So I pursued business. And I remember my first business failing when I was 24. And I was a young girl, 23, 24, looking to travel the world. And I was traveling the world, building my businesses. But that first failure really crushed my goals, really crushed my confidence. And I thought, what am I going to do with my life? And around that time, I met a person in New York City who invited me to be his girlfriend, really, his trophy wife. His trophy wife at 24. And I remember sitting in New York City in this apartment with incredible dreams that he has for us. But it's not my dream. It's not a dream that I want to build. My dream, my ideal dream is to have freedom, to be with a person that you love, you understand on a cellular level, on soulful level, not just somebody's trophy in a house or an apartment or in their lives. So for me, this was foreign. And from the very beginning, we had very kind of volatile arguments to say, look, I'm pushing back. And sitting in that apartment, I knew I'm here for a reason, but I don't know what is the reason, because I know there is so much better for me in my life. Going through this relation, which I shared in the book, at the very bitter end, the final encounter was almost him getting back at me for not being with him. If you, as a woman, I'm sure you know and you understand and you feel what it's like when you haven't given the man the power and you have to fight back. So this was for him, was the last stab in our relationship, which then led to me having a very traumatic experience of 2 years of losing my voice, my identity, my confidence, my self-belief. And as I went through this journey, 2 years later, I found a partner, we settled down. And of course, there was so much more that got into being engaged, becoming a stepmom, finding my voice again, building a business of my dreams, having a partner who actually believed in me, who believed in my dreams, who had a time of the day to attend every single event, to hear my dreams and goals. And this is where we as women flourish, when we have relationships with a partner, with a soulful partner who actually wants to be part of this journey for you. So it was an incredible relationship. And I feel like there must be another chapter in this book. The way this book actually came about, I never shared the story of ever losing my voice. I joined Les Brown's community to become a professional motivational speaker in February. And one of the first meetings, he asked me, why do you actually want to speak? And after having hosted 10, 15 events, hundreds of hours of training, why do I want to speak? Why do I want to become a speaker? Why do I want to motivate? People already do that. So when he asked me that question, I went back into that moment where I sat in that apartment in New York City, knowing there was something more for me. And it dawned on me why I have had to go through that valley to come out on the other side. Never acknowledge the pain, the trauma, because I couldn't share with anybody. That has caused for me more emotionally than just physically, right? A lot of the times we talk about women being abused, being raped, being taken advantage of, or women judged, saying that she's the one that walked into the hotel room, right? But we're talking about feelings and how even one encounter can actually traumatize you for you to experience something, right? So now I have claimed my feminine power, my energy, self-healing, and I have walked out of my relationship for 6 years. And I'm in Spain living incredible next chapter, which I hope to share in my book in the near future.
Yes, it's absolutely coming. Thank you, Raimonda. Thank you for sharing that experience that you hadn't shared before.
And it's so new for me to even still describe the story, because again, I've just only spoken about it a few times, but I'm passionate about this story because I believe that is empowering. When I walked out of 6 years relationship, the way I felt is that I'm making that decision for me and all the women who follow what I do and what I stand for, because we as women have to walk our walk, right? We have to be empowered in our choices, in decisions, in our lives, in our future, in our path, we have to really be aligned. And if I felt like I was out of alignment, or if you feel right now like you're out of alignment, I encourage you to own that power, whether you're a man or a woman. If you believe that you're not in a place where you should be right now, take that first step and see what happens, because I know that universe has something better for every single one of us.
Absolutely. So I know each of you have your own business, and that we share this belief that there are people that we're meant to be a blessing to. There's people that we are meant to serve and co-create with. And this lifetime is just about finding each other, making it easy for others to find us. And so I would love for you to share in a sentence or two, how does your business change the world? Jessica, let's start with you.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of layers to this, empowering people to share their stories like we're all speaking on, and giving them that platform and that visibility that they feel safe and confident and that they're able to be seen, has such an impact on people who are reading or hearing the stories. And then, taking that next step further, that next like little ripple out, is the people who feel like, wow, she has or he has the thing that I really need. It's like about sharing the gifts that you came here with that are so powerful and that somebody else out there is praying for, so making it easy for people to find that. And I think the ripple of healing and impact that has just continues out, even if it's just like this little shift. That little shift continues to be amplified every single ripple out. So that's so much of my intention and so much of my passion. And thank you for asking.
Absolutely. Melissa, what about you? How does your business change the world?
I love this question. And I'm so passionate about what I do. I could probably say 1,000 million things about this. But what I love to see is women, again, who are business women, who are impacting lots of people in the world, and as they change their relationships, as they start to experience more ease and freedom and even like depths of intimacy that they didn't know existed, how that then affects their ripple effect on the world. And I really believe that marriage is a dying art. It's a principle that is now extremely controversial. I've learned it's yeah, I cause a lot of ripples for people, which is so funny. It's not in my nature to be a pot stirrer, but I really believe in marriage. If we don't have marriages as the foundation of our families, we don't have a society. We are lost and confused. And so being a part of that is everything to me. And I'm helping not just these women or not just these couples, but for generations. And I take it really seriously, because I mean, we can make all the money in the world, but if we don't have our core relationships around us, what does it really matter? It's empty. It doesn't even feel as fulfilling. And in the end, when I think about my life, I want to be able to look back and, I mean, what are we going to care about? When we're 96 sitting in our rocker on our front porch, we're going to be thinking about the people and the relationships. So it's everything.
Yes. Thank you, Melissa. Raimonda, what about you? How does your business change the world?
Oh, thank you. Love that share, Melissa. Just like Melissa was saying, there are so many things that we can talk about our businesses because we're so passionate. And I've been on a journey for the last 10 years. And I think with every stage, it evolves and it grows and it becomes something more and better. So over last 5 years, I've been hosting events for women empowerment events. And it was the beginning of the journey of where we are today. And we planted so many seeds of hope, belief, motivation, inspiration, and for people to, or especially women entrepreneurs and those who are looking to start a business, we planted a seed for them to begin something. And now, nearly 5 years down the road, we're seeing so many of those seeds have grown into businesses, into coaching programs, into people transforming themselves and their lives, right? Going after those dreams, which maybe they never thought was possible or available to them. And we may have been a particular stepping stone, a platform they spoke on, a community they've been part of, maybe a coaching program they have taken with us, or a retreat they have traveled to. But at every stage, there has been a different way of how we've been able to touch lives, spotlight women. That, for me, that's so powerful, because as we women come together, especially through power of communities and collaborations and working together, you build those relationships to then be able to create, like Melissa was saying, bigger ripple effect, right? And Jessica as well was saying. I think that this is what it's about. So for me, I think now moving forward, I'd love to do more retreats, beautiful retreats for women to really step into that power, that feminine energy, for create circles where we can come together and hopefully not just online and do that in person, but in terms of events and spotlighting people, speakers. I work with coaches, authors, entrepreneurs, and help them really own the power of their voice and to be able to express it, whether it's through media, through video, speaking, writing a book, or just writing a blog. I think that's so amazing. Ever since I've shared that story of losing my voice, so many people have come forward and have expressed the same thing. And I think it's liberating when we step into our power, show up as authentic selves and not afraid to share our stories, and just, going through life with whole confidence and bundle of joy.
Absolutely. I'm going to be asking you all what's next for you. And Michelle, I would love if you would give a little preview of what's next for us. What's the next book? What is the timeline that we're looking at? So you want to talk about what's next for us?
Oh, yes. The second book in the series, The Younger Self Letters. Book 2 is coming. And I'm really excited about it. The first one was about turning obstacles into opportunities. And like all of you ladies touched on, it is a lot of the stuff we don't typically share, right? I write a lot of business books myself, and I'm very much in my intellect and in my masculine energy. So when Adriana and I came together on this project, it really brought up a lot of stuff for me, because years ago when I was in therapy, my therapist said to me, Michelle, do you know what your problem is? And I said, what? She said, your head and your heart are not connected, and we need to connect them. So thank you, ladies, and Adriana, for bringing me in here. This is just more about that connection, because I tend to be in the masculine energy. But I just want to say about the first book, was very transformational just to write my chapter, because I had to get into the heart energy, and I had to do it like 3 times, because I kept going in the intellect, because that's my default, that's my norm. And I was like, that's not what this book is about, And so I went really deep with what I shared. And I know just from people telling me, that it really touched them, my story, and people can relate to it. So our next book is for speakers, consultants, and coaches about how they found their life purpose. And I just think this is a great topic, because everybody has a story around this. We all sort of go off the path, right? We go off the path and we're lost. Like Melissa was talking about her experience in the desert of being lost. So we all have our getting off the past, being lost, and then what brought us back on our path and our life purpose. So I can't wait. I think this is going to be a really exciting book. And we have a launch date now of December 5th, 2021, right before Christmas.
I'm so excited about that date. We literally just secured that. So we haven't even announced it yet in the group, but
nope.
Yeah, that's what's next for us. So I would love to hear from you three. What's one thing that's on the horizon that you're excited about? This could be in your business. This could be a vacation, anything that you want to share. Jessica, what's next for you?
Oh my gosh, just one?
Just one.
Yeah, I feel, even though I've been in business for a while and it's taken many different forms, I feel in so many ways like I'm just getting started. So, I think, I don't know, I'm just really excited about all of the people that I'm going to be working with in the coming months and years, and the lives that we're going to impact, and the level of consciousness that we're going to create on the planet.
Absolutely. Melissa, what's one thing that's next for you that you're excited about?
You know what? I have so many great things going on in my business, but I'm so glad you said it can be personal, because what I'm really excited about is the growth in my marriage right now. My husband and I, this is kind of funny, but for about 2.5 years, being an intimacy coach, I really had this story going in my head that, like, we have arrived. Like, there's nothing left for my husband and I to accomplish or whatever, which is so funny to me, because there's no such thing as arriving ever, especially for someone like me who's like always like, what's next? But the beginning of this year, we started really opening ourselves up to dreaming, and like what is our potential if we actually believe that there was no limitations on our lives, whether it's financially or career wise, or because we have so many kids or XYZ. And oh man, you know what? Doing that stuff, I'm like, this is why people need a coach. Because it shakes stuff up a lot. Like, it makes you feel like, wait, the comfort foundation that we've been like so like cozy in is like all shook up and stuff. And I'm just so excited for what's next for my husband and I. He is actually stepping into the coaching world and has been working with a few clients. And it's always secretly been my dream that he and I would be on stage together, because I believe that our marriage is something special that needs to be shared with the world. And so I feel like some things are happening and my dream may come true.
I would not be surprised. Raimonda, what about you? What's one thing that you're looking forward to?
Yes, let's speak into existence, Melissa, right now, because I feel like this is what we have been doing since this book has started, this whole journey. I feel like we all have been through an incredible transformational journey through this book, right? Writing that chapter and taking that story out into the world and looking at how we're impacting lives and how our own lives transforming as a result. Because for me, yes, it's great to have the bestseller title. Yes, it's great to have a book. Yes, it's great to have an author title in your name, but it's the inner transformation I believe that we've gone through this process. So for me, that's really, really exciting. And one opportunity that has sort of been running parallel together with this book has been the Les Brown community and the coaching program that I have signed up for. And I feel so led and so connected, and to the leadership, to spirit, to God, to destiny and purpose. and connecting with the right people who are going to towards the same goals and dreams and directions, and able to, share those gifts together. So now I'm setting to go to New York City for my 34th birthday, and be part of the Hungry to Speak community event led by Mr. Les Brown. Meet my friends who have been on this journey for the last several months, hoping that I will be able to get into the States, because officially we're not allowed to go yet. But I said I will take my chances and I'll turn up at the border and see what happens.
I like it.
I hope I get to speak. I don't know. The speaker selection is still in process. So tonight we have another selection round, and we just literally every week just been practicing, doing our homework. So I'm hoping to be on that stage, but even if I just get to be there and support my friends on stage, that would be just beautiful. So I'm speaking into existence for all of you and also myself.
Absolutely. I love it. That's what we get to do, right? Our word is our wand. So I know, Jessica and Melissa, you have a freebie that you would like to share. So Jessica, tell us a little bit about who is this freebie good for? What will they get from it?
Yes, so this freebie is good for somebody who wants to get their mission out there and wants to get their work out into a published book, but maybe has a little bit more time on their hands and wants to kind of go the route of self-publishing. So it is a self-publisher book in 8 simple steps, and it guides you through all of the key points of what you need to do and what you need to have to successfully bring this into the world. And I think it's so important because while there are so many of us who are doing these incredible projects, some people are just kind of like, I just want to do it myself. And however you get your voice out there, it's all valuable and it's all important.
Absolutely. Melissa, what about you? Tell us about your freebie and who it's ideal for.
Yeah, so I've created an intimacy guide. It's ideally for a busy businesswoman who wants to bring a little bit more intimacy into her day-to-day without taking a ton of time. It takes about 10 minutes to work through, and it absolutely gets you clear on a little bit more of what you really want in any particular relationship or situation that you have going on, what you're actually feeling about it, and what that indicates about what you deeply value, so that you can turn around and express that to someone else. A big piece of my work is intimacy starts with intimacy, which is seeing into yourself and creating that deep inner connection with you. And then if you so choose, perhaps you invite someone else to see into you as well. And perhaps you can also hold that space for another. So this freebie is just, very quick and simple. It gives you that little kind of intro into that. And it's actually a really powerful tool. I use it on a regular basis. I use the tools that are in that on a regular basis in my day-to-day life. So
beautiful. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Ladies, thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing your story and what the backstory is as well. It's always fun to hear that. I want to invite everyone to pick up their copy of the Younger Self Letters. It is available on Amazon. And if you have a story that you would like to share in our next book, I will put the link. Sign up for a call. We'll chat and make sure that it's a good fit for you. All right. Until next time. Keep rocking it out. Bye.
Thank you.